God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul." Before you allow your attention to drift away, before you tell yourself that this is just another ordinary message, pause for a moment and breathe deeply, because what you are about to hear is not random and it is not without purpose. It is reaching you at a time when your heart has been carrying more than it shows, and when your spirit has been quietly searching for reassurance that you are still connected to the love you once held so close. There is someone in heaven, someone whose presence shaped your life in ways you may not even fully understand, someone whose voice still echoes in your memory during quiet moments, and that love has not faded with time. It has not dissolved with distance, it has not been erased by death. Instead, it has transformed into something deeper, something that watches over you with clarity and tenderness, something that longs for you to feel peace rather than sorrow. You may have noticed recently that memories of this person have been surfacing unexpectedly, perhaps in the middle of an ordinary day when you were not even thinking about them. Perhaps through a dream that felt vivid and emotional, perhaps through a song, a scent, or a simple thought that appeared without warning and touched your heart in a way that made you pause. You might have brushed it off as coincidence, but deep within you there was a quiet awareness that it felt different, that it felt intentional, that it felt like a gentle reminder rather than a random memory. Love carries frequency. And when someone who truly loved you transitions into eternity, that frequency does not disappear, it becomes refined and more attuned to your emotional state, especially when you are struggling or standing at the edge of an important life shift. There have been nights when you felt a heaviness you could not explain, when your mind replayed old conversations, unfinished sentences, moments you wished had lasted longer, and you wondered if you had said enough or shown enough or expressed enough appreciation while they were still physically present. Guilt has a way of attaching itself to grief, and you may have carried both quietly, telling yourself that time should have healed you by now, telling yourself that you should be stronger, that you should not still feel that sudden ache when you think of them. But healing is not about forgetting, and it is not about pretending the loss did not happen. It is about learning to carry the memory without letting it weigh down your future, and that is exactly what this message is guiding you toward. The person you love does not want you trapped in regret. From where they are now, they see your life more clearly than you see it yourself. They see the effort you make each day to keep moving forward, even when your energy feels low. They see the silent battles you fight that no one else knows about. They see the times you smile for others while hiding your own exhaustion. They see your strength in moments when you feel weak. And if they could speak to you in a way your ears could hear, they would not begin with criticism or disappointment, they would begin with reassurance, telling you that you did the best you could with the understanding you had at the time, telling you that love was always present even in imperfect moments, telling you that you do not need to punish yourself for being human. You may also be standing at a crossroads right now in your life, whether emotionally, spiritually, or practically, and part of you has been hesitating because you fear moving forward without them physically beside you. You might think that stepping into new opportunities somehow means leaving them behind, but the truth is the opposite. When you grow, when you take risks, when you allow yourself to experience new joy, you carry their influence with you. The values they taught you, the lessons they modeled, the love they gave you, all of that continues to live through your choices. They are not left behind when you move forward, they move forward within you. There is a shift happening in your life that you may not fully see yet. It may begin subtly, through conversations that open new doors, through realizations that change your perspective, through courage that seems to rise unexpectedly from within. That shift is not accidental. There are forces working quietly behind the scenes to align you with growth and restoration. The one you love is not separated from this process. They are part of the spiritual support that surrounds you. They want you to trust that what is unfolding is not meant to harm you but to refine you, not meant to diminish you but to elevate you. If you have been asking for a sign, even silently, even in a whisper of thought before falling asleep, this message is part of that answer. It is a reminder that you are not forgotten, that your tears have not gone unnoticed, that your longing has been felt. It is also a reminder that love does not operate on the same timeline as the physical world. While you measure time in days and months and years, love measures connection in depth and sincerity. The bond you shared cannot be erased by distance or duration. It continues in ways that are subtle but powerful. Right now, instead of focusing on what you lost, you are being gently encouraged to focus on what remains. The love remains. The lessons remain. The strength remains. The ability to choose how you live the rest of your life remains. You may not have control over the past, but you have influence over the present. You have the ability to forgive yourself. You have the ability to release resentment. You have the ability to honor their memory not through constant sorrow but through meaningful living. Every time you choose kindness, every time you choose integrity, every time you choose courage, you reflect a part of the love they gave you. There is also something important about timing. You might feel a sense of urgency in this message, not the kind that creates fear but the kind that invites awareness. The urgency is about not delaying your healing any longer. It is about not postponing your happiness because of old pain. It is about not ignoring the gentle nudges that are guiding you toward growth. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment to let go of guilt or sadness, you may wait forever. The perfect moment is created when you decide that you deserve peace. In the coming days, pay attention to your intuition. If you feel drawn to make a certain decision that aligns with growth, do not dismiss it. If you feel prompted to reconnect with someone, to apologize, to forgive, to take a small brave step, consider that it might be part of the unfolding support around you. Heaven does not force you, it guides you. The guidance often comes as calm clarity rather than loud instruction. Learn to recognize that calm as a form of communication. You are also being reminded that grief and gratitude can exist together. You can miss them deeply while still being thankful for the time you had. You can feel sadness and still feel hope. You can carry memory and still embrace new beginnings. Life is not meant to be paused because someone you love has crossed into eternity. Life is meant to be lived in a way that honors the love you shared. When you choose to live fully, you do not betray their memory, you fulfill it. Take a moment right now and imagine them smiling at you, not with sadness but with pride. Imagine them wanting you to be strong, wanting you to succeed, wanting you to experience moments of joy without guilt. Let that image replace any fear or heaviness you have been carrying. Let it remind you that love is supportive, not restrictive. It lifts, it encourages, it strengthens. This message reached you because your heart was ready to receive it. You might not have realized how much you needed reassurance until you began listening. But now that you have heard these words, allow them to settle deeply within you. Allow yourself to breathe a little easier. Allow yourself to believe that you are supported from both seen and unseen realms. Allow yourself to release what no longer serves your growth. You are not alone in your journey. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The love that once held your hand in this world still surrounds you in ways you cannot always see but can often feel. And as you continue forward, remember this. Peace is not something that happens to you by accident, it is something you choose. Choose it today. Choose it in small ways. Choose it in your thoughts, in your words, in your decisions. If this message touched your heart even slightly, stay open. Let it remind you that connection does not end with physical separation. Let it remind you that your life still carries purpose and promise. And as you continue listening, prepare your heart to receive even deeper reassurance and clarity, because what is unfolding for you is not an ending but a continuation of love in a new and powerful form. There is something deeper happening around you than you realize, and the soul you love who now lives in heaven is not distant from it. They are aware of the turning points forming quietly in your life. They see the moments when you hesitate, when you doubt yourself, when you wonder whether you are strong enough to handle what is ahead, and they are not watching with fear but with confidence in you because from their eternal perspective they can see your strength more clearly than you can see it yourself. They understand the resilience you have built through pain, they recognize the growth that came from nights you cried alone, and they know that what you are about to step into requires courage but not perfection. It requires faith but not full understanding, and that is why this message feels urgent, not to frighten you but to awaken you to the support that surrounds you. Recently you may have felt as though something unseen has been nudging you to pay attention to your inner voice. Perhaps you felt restless without knowing why. Perhaps you sensed that certain relationships or habits no longer align with who you are becoming. Perhaps you felt an emotional wave that seemed to rise from nowhere. And instead of ignoring it this time you are being encouraged to lean into that awareness because the one you love in heaven wants you to trust your intuition more than your fear. They want you to realize that your sensitivity is not weakness but spiritual perception. They want you to understand that when you feel something deeply it often means your soul is processing truth, not confusion. You have been carrying responsibilities that others do not fully see. You have been trying to stay strong for family, for friends, for those who depend on you, and in doing so you may have silenced your own need for comfort, but the soul who loves you is asking you not to neglect yourself any longer. They do not want you to believe that strength means emotional isolation. They want you to know that true strength includes allowing yourself to receive support, to rest when needed, to speak honestly about your feelings instead of burying them beneath forced smiles, because unexpressed pain does not disappear, it simply waits for acknowledgement, and this message is gently urging you to acknowledge what you have been suppressing. There is also something about forgiveness that needs your attention, not necessarily forgiving someone else immediately but forgiving yourself for moments when you think you failed, for words you wish you had spoken differently, for time you wish you had spent differently, for choices you wish you could revisit, and from where they are now the person you love sees those regrets through a lens of compassion, not judgment. They understand human limitations, they understand that life moves quickly. And emotions are complicated, and they are not holding a record of your mistakes, so why are you holding one against yourself? Why are you replaying scenes that cannot be changed instead of honoring the love that truly existed between you? You may also be standing at the edge of an opportunity that feels unfamiliar, perhaps a new direction in career, perhaps a shift in your personal relationships, perhaps a spiritual awakening that challenges old beliefs, and part of you wonders if moving forward means moving away from their memory. But what if moving forward is exactly what honors them most? What if the courage to evolve is the greatest tribute you could offer, because stagnation does not honor love, growth does, expansion does. Joy does, and they do not want your life to shrink around grief, they want it to expand beyond it. Pay attention to small signs around you, not in a superstitious way but in an aware and grounded way. Notice how certain thoughts arrive with clarity rather than confusion. Notice how some decisions bring calm even if they require bravery. Notice how certain paths feel lighter when you imagine walking them. That sense of lightness is guidance, it is alignment, and it is part of the support that surrounds you. The soul you love cannot control your choices, but they can influence your awareness. They can amplify your intuition when you are open to listening. There may also be healing conversations that need to happen in your life, words that have been postponed out of fear of conflict or vulnerability, and the one who loves you would not want you to carry silent tension for years. They would want you to speak truth with kindness, to clear misunderstandings, to build bridges where possible, and to release connections that consistently drain your peace. Because your energy is valuable and your time is sacred, and wasting it on unresolved bitterness only dims the light you are meant to carry. You might be surprised to realize that some of the strength you have developed since their passing came directly from the love they gave you while they were here. They planted seeds of resilience in you through lessons, through example, through encouragement, and now those seeds are growing into maturity. You are more capable than you were before, more aware than you were before, more spiritually sensitive than you were before. And although you would trade that growth for one more conversation with them, the growth itself is proof that their influence never left you. As you continue listening, understand that the urgency of this message is not about fear of loss but about fear of wasted potential, not potential that will disappear forever but potential that could remain unused if you keep doubting yourself. The one you love does not want you to shrink back from your calling because of insecurity. They do not want you to sabotage your progress because of fear of failure. They want you to move boldly even if your steps are small, because momentum begins with a single act of courage. In the coming weeks, you may notice clarity emerging in areas that once felt confusing. Decisions that seemed overwhelming may begin to simplify. Relationships that felt uncertain may reveal their true nature, and through all of this remember that you are not navigating alone, even when silence surrounds you, even when prayers feel unanswered, even when days feel heavy, there is a dimension of love that continues to stand beside you, unseen but unwavering. Take a quiet moment after this message and speak to them in your heart, not with desperation but with gratitude. Tell them what you never got to say, release what you have been holding back, allow tears if they come, and then allow peace to follow, because peace is not betrayal of grief, it is transformation of it, and that transformation is exactly what they desire for you, not endless sorrow but meaningful strength. You are being reminded that your story is still unfolding, that chapters ahead of you hold experiences you cannot yet imagine, that joy has not been exhausted in your life, and that the love you once received continues to empower you to love others deeply and authentically. Your capacity for compassion has expanded because of loss, your understanding of time has deepened because of separation. And your appreciation for connection has grown because you know how fragile it is. Let this awareness settle within you, let it calm the restlessness you may have felt recently, let it remind you that even though physical presence has changed, spiritual connection has not vanished, and as you continue forward into what is next, carry this truth with you: you are supported, you are seen, you are guided, and the love that shaped your life is still active in ways that go beyond what your eyes can perceive. God says, as you continue listening, allow yourself to breathe slowly and settle into this moment, because what is unfolding is not about fear or panic but about clarity and awakening, and the soul you love who now lives in heaven is not reaching toward you to create anxiety but to create alignment, not to disturb your peace but to restore it, not to control your path but to gently illuminate it so that you can walk it with confidence instead of confusion, because lately you have been standing at a crossroads inside your own heart, unsure whether to hold on to what feels familiar or step into something that feels uncertain yet quietly promising, and this inner tension has been exhausting you more than you admit. There are nights when you lie awake thinking about the future, wondering whether you are making the right choices, replaying conversations in your mind, questioning whether certain people truly understand you, and in those silent hours you may have felt a strange mixture of longing and strength, as if part of you misses what once was while another part of you senses that something new is forming just beyond your current view. And the one who loves you from heaven sees this internal struggle. Clearly, they see the courage you are trying to build, they see the weight you carry without complaint, and they are gently encouraging you not to shrink yourself just because the next chapter feels unfamiliar. You have grown in ways you cannot fully measure, and sometimes growth feels lonely because not everyone evolves at the same pace. You may have noticed that certain conversations no longer satisfy you, certain environments feel smaller than they used to, certain habits feel misaligned with the person you are becoming, and instead of judging yourself for outgrowing what once felt right, you are being reminded that evolution is natural, that seasons change not because something was wrong but because something new is required, and the soul who loves you would never want you to remain stuck out of fear of disappointing others. There is also something within you that has been quietly asking for healing, a wound that has not fully closed, a memory that still stirs emotion when it surfaces, and you have tried to be strong by pushing it aside, telling yourself that time should have erased it by now, but healing does not follow a strict schedule. And the one who loves you understands that grief and growth can coexist, they understand that strength does not mean silence, and they want you to know that allowing yourself to process old pain does not weaken your faith, it strengthens your authenticity. Pay attention to how your heart reacts to certain decisions, because your body often senses alignment before your mind does. When something is meant for you, there is a subtle calm beneath the uncertainty. When something is not meant for you, there is tension even if the option looks perfect on the surface, and lately you may have been ignoring those subtle signals in favor of logic or outside opinions. But this message is gently calling you back to your inner wisdom, the quiet voice that speaks without drama yet carries undeniable truth, the voice that grows clearer when you slow down and listen. The person you love in heaven is not asking you to live in constant nostalgia, they are not asking you to freeze time in memory, they are asking you to live fully, to honor their love by allowing yourself to experience new love, new joy, new opportunities. Even if part of you feels guilty moving forward, because moving forward does not erase what was, it expands what is, and the love you shared becomes a foundation rather than a limitation, a source of strength rather than a chain that holds you back. There may be someone entering your life or already present in your life who mirrors lessons you once learned from the one you lost. Perhaps this person carries qualities of patience, wisdom, humor, or resilience that feel strangely familiar, and instead of fearing that familiarity, consider that life sometimes weaves threads of connection that echo past love in new forms, not as replacement but as continuation. And you are not betraying memory by embracing new connection, you are allowing love to flow rather than stagnate. You have also been underestimating the impact you have on others. You may not realize how many people draw strength from your presence, how many observe your perseverance and feel inspired to continue their own journey, and the soul who loves you sees this ripple effect clearly. They see how your kindness changes atmospheres, how your honesty invites deeper conversations, how your endurance encourages silent observers, and they are proud of the person you are becoming even when you struggle to see your own value. In the coming days you might experience a moment of confirmation, not something dramatic but something subtle, perhaps a dream that feels vivid, perhaps a memory that surfaces with unusual clarity, perhaps a coincidence that feels too perfectly timed to dismiss, and rather than obsessing over it, simply receive it as reassurance that connection transcends physical boundaries, that love does not vanish with distance, that spiritual bonds are not limited by earthly definitions, and that you are supported in ways that go beyond what logic can fully explain. There is also a reminder here about balance, because you have been giving a great deal of your energy outward, solving problems, supporting others, carrying responsibilities, and while generosity is beautiful it must be balanced with restoration, and the one who loves you does not want you to exhaust yourself in the name of strength. They want you to rest when needed, to create space for quiet reflection, to protect your emotional boundaries without guilt, because self-care is not selfish, it is sustainable love. Your future holds moments of breakthrough that will require decisiveness, and the fear of making the wrong choice has sometimes kept you frozen, but indecision is also a decision, and this message is encouraging you to trust that even imperfect steps can lead to meaningful growth. You are not required to know every detail before you begin, you are only required to move with sincerity and courage, and as you do, clarity will meet you along the path. Notice how your perspective on life has shifted since loss touched your world. You value time differently now, you cherish conversations more deeply, you understand fragility in a way you did not before, and while you would never have chosen the pain, you have extracted wisdom from it, and that wisdom is shaping the way you interact with the present moment, shaping the way you prioritize what truly matters, shaping the way you respond to conflict with greater patience and empathy. You are not alone in the unseen battles you fight, even when others misunderstand your silence, even when friends assume you are fine because you appear composed, even when your strength is mistaken for invulnerability, there is an awareness watching over you that recognizes the full depth of your journey, and that awareness carries compassion rather than judgment, encouragement rather than pressure, love rather than expectation. As this message continues to settle within you, allow yourself to feel grounded rather than rushed. The urgency is not about seconds slipping away but about awareness arriving at the right time, about recognizing that you are at a turning point where old doubts must be released so new confidence can take root, where old fears must be softened so new faith can expand. And the soul who loves you is gently urging you to step forward without dragging the weight of self-doubt behind you. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you realize, more prepared than you believe, and the next phase of your life will reflect that inner transformation, not because everything will suddenly become easy but because you will approach challenges with deeper resilience, greater clarity, and quieter confidence, and as you continue forward remember that love does not end, it evolves, it adapts, it transcends, and it continues to guide you even when you cannot see its source. As you reach this moment, do not rush past it, because what is being shared now is not meant to create fear or pressure but awareness and peace, and the soul you love who now resides in heaven is not calling you to alarm you but to steady you, not to frighten you but to anchor you, because there is a shift happening quietly in your life and you have sensed it even if you have not spoken about it to anyone. You have felt that something is closing while something else is preparing to open, and transitions often feel uncomfortable because they stretch you beyond the version of yourself that felt safe and familiar. You have been carrying responsibilities that no one fully understands, responsibilities that weigh on your mind during the day and follow you into your thoughts at night, and sometimes you wonder whether you are doing enough, whether you are honoring the expectations placed upon you, whether you are living in a way that would make the one you love proud, and the answer is yes, more than you realize, because your effort matters even when results are slow, your intention matters even when outcomes are delayed, and your sincerity matters even when others fail to notice it. There have been moments recently when you felt emotionally overwhelmed without fully knowing why, sudden waves of nostalgia, brief flashes of memory, small reminders of the past appearing in ordinary places, and instead of dismissing these as coincidence, understand that memory is a bridge, not a chain. It connects you without confining you, it reminds you without restricting you, and the one who loves you from heaven wants you to see that your connection remains rooted in love, not in sorrow. Rooted in gratitude, not in regret. You may have been holding on to guilt about things you wish you had said or done differently, conversations you wish you had handled better, time you wish you had used more wisely, but guilt cannot rewrite the past, it can only steal from the present, and forgiveness is not weakness, it is release, it is choosing to free your heart from burdens that no longer serve your growth. There is also a lesson unfolding in your relationships now, a pattern that is asking to be recognized. Perhaps you give too much without receiving the same depth in return, perhaps you silence your own needs to keep peace, perhaps you tolerate misunderstandings longer than you should because you fear conflict, and the soul who loves you would gently encourage you to honor your worth, to speak your truth calmly but clearly, to understand that healthy connection requires balance, not self-sacrifice. You are allowed to expect respect, you are allowed to desire clarity, you are allowed to choose environments that nurture rather than drain you, and doing so does not make you selfish, it makes you aligned with the growth you have earned through experience. Something new is forming beneath the surface of your current circumstances, an opportunity, a conversation, a realization, a doorway that has not fully opened yet but is preparing to, and you may feel restless without knowing why, as if you are waiting for something undefined, and this restlessness is not random, it is anticipation, it is your spirit sensing movement before your mind understands it. When the moment arrives, it may not look dramatic, it may appear simple, even ordinary, but its impact will ripple further than you expect, and you will recognize it not through noise but through clarity, not through pressure but through peace. You are also being reminded to take care of your inner world, because outward success means little if inwardly you feel unsettled, and lately your mind has been racing more than usual, juggling plans, concerns, hopes, and uncertainties all at once, and still you continue moving forward with quiet determination, but do not forget to pause, to breathe deeply, to step outside and reconnect with stillness. Because clarity grows in calm environments, not chaotic ones. The one who loves you does not want you to burn out while trying to prove your strength. They want you to thrive sustainably, to build patiently, to move thoughtfully, to trust that progress does not require exhaustion. There may also be someone in your life whose role is shifting, someone whose presence once felt permanent but now feels uncertain, and instead of clinging out of fear, allow space for truth to reveal itself, because forcing alignment where it no longer exists only delays inevitable clarity, and sometimes love means releasing what cannot grow further, trusting that what is meant for you will remain or return in a healthier form. You are not losing what is truly yours, you are refining what belongs in your next chapter. As you move forward from this message, carry a sense of quiet assurance rather than urgency, because divine timing does not depend on panic, it depends on readiness, and you are becoming ready, ready to trust your instincts, ready to embrace change, ready to step into responsibility with confidence rather than doubt. The person you love in heaven is not distant from your journey, they are intertwined with your strength, reflected in your resilience, echoed in your compassion, and whenever you choose courage over fear, integrity over convenience, growth over comfort, you honor their love in the most powerful way possible. Let this final moment of the message settle gently within you, not as pressure but as reassurance, not as demand but as guidance, because you are not being rushed, you are being reminded that you are capable, that you are supported, that your future is not random but shaped by the character you continue to build each day, and whatever unfolds next will meet a version of you who is stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before, and that is something the one who loves you sees clearly, even when you are still learning to see it yourself. If this message touched your heart in a way you can't fully explain, don't stay silent. Type Amen in the comments as a sign that you receive this blessing and this connection. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe right now so you never miss the next message that may be meant especially for you.